Students of class 11, I am PKR sir, and today I am uploading the last part of the video lessons from the chapter the Central Islamic Lands. Okay, let's start the chapter. So, commerce. We'll talk about the commerce. In the Central Islamic lands, the merchandise was actually carried overland in camels' caravans and then sent to the warehouses. Warehouses means the main houses. It was like the Baghdad was the warehouses. Okay, Damascus, Aleppo. Then the local consumers and local customers were trying to buy the products from that areas. Okay, even Mecca was a very important you can say city where different kind of trading routes was going on to the Central Asia, like to the India, to the China. So it became very important. Now, uh, for the commerce, the easternward caravans of the Iranian merchants, going to the China, India to collect the silks and different kind of merchandise business was going on. Even the fiscal system they use in that time. Fiscal system, as you all know that even they were doing their business. Exchange of the by exchanging of the gold coins, silver coins, copper coins. Okay, so that's why demand, so definitely demand was there. So these kind of coins were minted and circulated in large scales. Okay, even they use the hundi system. Hundi system is it was very similar to the check systems. And because there was lots of possibilities for the robbery during the journey. So in that way, they use the credit and debit system through different kind of hundis systems or other way they followed. In this way, they were doing the business. They were collecting the materials and sent to the warehouses, and from the warehouses, all the other traders and merchants sell the product to the European markets. In that way, that the commerce was going on. Understood? Now we'll talk about the legend of the learning and the cultures. Okay, developments of the various literary forms, literatures, and literate. Okay, so religious and social experiences of the Muslim, religious and social experiences of the Muslim totally dependent through contact with other peoples, like that's why they confronted issues that are pertaining to the god and the mysteries of the world. So that's why they were trying to give the answer that how people that would accept that the Muslim religions, or what were the object of the creation, and how does one know that what God wants from his creature. So Muslim or learned Muslims, they acquired and organized the knowledge of different kinds to strengthen the social identity of their community. Understood? So religious scholars, you can say the ulema, right? That they believe that all kind of knowledge is derived from the Quran and the model behavior of the Prophet Muhammad, right? So in this way, they were writing the laws and regulation, and it was known as the Sharia. And in the medieval history, or in the medieval times, the there was origination of the four school, like Maliki, Hanafi, Safi, and Hanabil school. These school were engaged to write down the laws, rules, and regulations. Okay, and provided the guidance on all possible legal issues. Okay, especially for the Sunni society, and definitely they were more focused on the questions and personal status. than on the commercial matters, like marriage, divorce, intelligence, different. These kind of laws were written. So the law of the Muslim peoples, or for the Muslim peoples, was known as the Sharia. And who performed or who soluted the problems regarding the Muslim community, they were known as the Qaji, or they were known as a judge. Understood? Now, uh, before, when it took its final form, that means when Sharia took the final form, Sharia was adjusted as also local customary laws, because when they conquered the many parts of the Central Asia, including some parts of the India, and other parts. So they didn't know how to rule. So that's why they also followed the local customary laws, and it also included in the Quran. Okay, and during the judgment, Muslim rulers solve almost every kind of problem, except some kind of special problems they sent to the Qadis. Selected cases they sent to the Qadis, and the Qadis was appointed by the state, and almost in every city or the locality, right? And they were acted as an arbitrator, okay, to solve different kind of disputes, rather than as a strict enforcer of the Sharia. Right? Followed? Now, a group of religious minded people in the medieval Islam, they were known as the Sufism. Actually, they sought a deeper and a more personal knowledge of the God Allah. And because as the Muslim society, Muslim community became more and more materialistic, but they were seeking this deeper and more personal knowledge. Okay, and they believed that only music and singing was the two way. If you want to be go with the God Allah, then you have to follow these two things. And they are, pantheism. They believe in the pantheism and the love. Pantheism is the idea of oneness of the God, like the Allah, and they believe that the creation, which implies that human soul must be united with its maker. Maker means God Allah, and they believe the unity with God can be achieved through an intense love for the God. This was the main aim of the Sufism, right? Main aim, like some woman saint. Her name was Rabia of the Basra. She preached in her poems regarding this matter. Even Bayazid, Bistami, an Iranian Sufi, who was the first to teach the importance of the submerging of the self in God. That means through music or through dancing. And Sufism is, open to all. So that's the different sections of the society attracted, and they joined these Sufi movements. And like Dhulnan Misri, whose grave you can find out still now in very near to the Giza pyramid. And every on the death anniversary of this Pir Baba, the festival was organizing, because the believer of the Sufism actually believes that on the death anniversary, if you go to the Dwarka, or if you go to the Pir Baba Majar, then the spiritual blessings will give you, right? So this was the alternative visions of the God. Okay. Now, the alternative visions of the God and the universe was developed by Islamic philosophers and the scientists. Now, this Islamic philosopher and the scientist actually influence from the Greek philosophy and the science. And as you all know that you have read the chapter 3, in the Byzantine Empire or the Roman Empire was there, and Sasanian Empire was there. But when Arabian conquered that area, still in different schools, in different schools, Greek mathematics and medicines were taught. Even Umayyad Khalifa and the Abbasid Khalifa commissions that translations of the Greek and Syriac book into Arabic by the Christian people. And this translation became very, very well organized activity under different kind of Khalifa, because they realized that importance of the philosophy, importance of the science, and they had included in their subjects. and in this way their mind had been developed, and they started to raise the questions against the superstitions. So that's why the philosopher and a mathematician, didn't believe that the judgment day or something like that was written in the Quran. And for example, Ibn Sina was a doctor by profession and philosopher also, and his medical writing book were widely read. Even one of the most influential writing of him was all Kanun Filthy, and he had mentioned 760 drugs which was sold by pharmacies on his day. And even he written notes on his own experiments conducted in hospitals. So in that way, Muslim society became more that professionals. Muslim society became more scientific. So in that way, they developed themselves in the science and technology. On the other side, they develop. We have seen the development of the poetry and the poem, like in the medieval Islamic society. Fine language, I mean to say, fine language means that the behavior, model behavior, and creative imagination became the important parts, right? Like in Wait for 1 minute. Yes. And at the beginning of the 11th century, Ghazni became the important centers for the learning and education, because Sultan Mahmud, when sent Ghazni made the capitals, and several dozens of poets and dozens of learned men went there, in the search of their fortune. And many poets written different kind of books, different kind of poems, and I can definitely mention the name of the book, Sahanama. Sahanama was written by Firdausi. It was the best book in that time, because Sahanama is the collection of the traditional legends, the history of the ancient Iran up to the Arabian conquered in the Iran. Total history was written there. Even several kind of book translated from the India, also like the Panchatantra written by Vishnu Sharma. It was translated in the Arabian. Okay, or the Alif Laila, the life of the Sindbad. In this way, the literature became more glorified. Okay, and from the 9th century onwards, the scope of adab, that is expression, to it included to biography, manuals of the ethics, and mirrors for the princes, and above all the history and geography, because history and geography become very very important subject for them. Even the traditions of the history writing well established in the literature Muslim societies, and history books were read by the scholars, students, even because they wanted to know the history of the other countries. They wanted to gain the knowledge. So that's why different kind of books they were translating. Like two major historical books was Ansaf al Asraf of Baladhuri, and Tariq al Rasul wal Mulk of Tibari. The whole human history was treated with the Islamic period as a focal point. Even geography and travel, it was also became very very important part of the adab branches. Okay, and they combined the knowledge especially from the Greek, Iran, and the Indian books. They translated the books and they gained the knowledge. In this way, they started their merchandise business, and these books helped them to discover the new lands. The exact positions of the each city was determined astronomically by them. It was done by them. Or Muqaddas's descriptive geography, Ahsan al Takasim, is a comparative study of the country and people of the world, and a treasury trove of the exotic curiosities. That kind of books, became very, very famous because it gave them the knowledge of the other countries. So in this way, like, Al-Biruni, who visited the India, his famous book was Tahqiq Malil Hind. Okay, it was the greatest attempt by him during the 11th century to glorify the India, the society, religious, all that kind of things. And by the 10th century, Islamic world had emerged, easily recognizable by the travelers, because that their temples, I mean to say masjid, became the one of the best architectural forms, and easily you can identify that what is temples, what is masjid, and what is church, right? And they decorated their masjid, they decorated their palaces. Okay, and the mosques had an open courtyard, as you all know that what is known as a mosque or masjid, something like that. There is an open courtyard. Also, there are several rooms are available for the people who want to live there. Okay, and one small pond is there for cleaning cleaning the hands and the legs before starting the namaz or the prayers. Right now, we'll talk about that the Umayyad built desert palaces in the oases, such as Kirabat al Mafizir in the Palestine, Qasir Amra in Jordan. Okay, and in that palaces, you can definitely find out the luxurious residences. Okay, even the palaces modeled on, actually these kind of palaces were built modeled based on the model of the Roman and Sasanian architecture. Okay, and the art form, the rejections of the representative living beings in the religious art of the Islam promoted two art forms. One is calligraphy, another was arabesque. Calligraphy, that means the beautiful handwriting, and most of the manuscript of the Muslim societies in that time was written by use of beautiful calligraphy. And definitely geography and vegetal designs you can find out. Okay, and developments by the 10th century, if you want to that Islamic world, you know that I have to explain you that easily recognizable and religious buildings were the greatest examples for that. Even in the first Islamic century, the mosques acquired a distinctive architectural forms, and you can easily identify it. Okay, now the last thing is that development of three aspects of human civilization according to the Muslim society. The history of the Central Islamic lands, brings together three important aspects of the human civilization. One is religion, another one is community, and politics. For the from the very beginning of the Islamic traditions, it was based on totally religions, and then it turned into the community. Then it became the political. Though they were separated in later period, that means political things is separated from the religions and the community, but they were united based on their belief on the God Allah. So these three circle march sometimes appear as one of the 7th century. Understood? Then the next 5 centuries, the circle separated. Muslim community was united in its observance of the Sharia. That means they were following the Sharia. Na? Maybe they found a different kind of dynasties, but they were following the Sharia law. That means they were united by their religions. So in this way, we have seen that 7th century onwards, the new religion originated in the Central Asia, in Arabian peninsula, and which became more united and captured most of the part of the Central Asia, and then they became one of the most important religion in the world. And day by day, we have seen that they captured some parts of the Roman Empire, some parts of the Sasanian Empire. In that way, right now, this Muslim society became easily recognizable, and their architectural form or are quite different than other architect. Okay, and they also developed their minds, they also developed their educational system by translating different kind of books. In this way, we have seen from the merchant tradings, or from the educations, from the literatures, okay, from the science, from the medicine, philosophy, they had developed themselves so much. That's why right now almost 57 countries actually is regarded as a Muslim country, and they also written different kind of books. They also given or had shown to the world that their architectural qualities, and definitely once upon a time, this Arabian people control the whole world trading system, from Southeast Asia to the Central Asia, and definitely to the European market, because in that time Europe didn't know anything about the Central Asia, because just after 1200 AD we have seen this Angel's Land of the England formed. Before that, there was no president. Na? There was no country like France. In that time, France was known as the Gaul. So that's why definitely Arabian were the people who given the knowledge of Indian books, Indian medicines, Indian math, Greece medicinal book, philosophy to the European. That's why they became educated. That was also evidently true. So I hope you understood. I hope you understood all the meanings, all of what I'm trying to say, and definitely it was very difficult to understand for the very first time, right? But if you, I'm trying to, that explain in very easy way. So if you have any problem, definitely you can contact with me. You have my WhatsApp number. Okay, so I'm ending this video lessons for today. Okay, so thank you very much.